up? This is Jared.
This kills.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got to it. We got to the band episode.
Ooh.
Do you remember back in the day when it's not SpongeBob, but when Family Guy had the band episode and they promoted it on DVD? It's like the episode not.
What was their band episode?
Their band episode had to do with abortion.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
I don't remember that.
Yeah, so this is SpongeBob's version of
I
it.
don't remember that.
So, I actually had... We'll get to it, but we reviewed The Great Snail Race, which is meh, and Midlife Crustacean, which is the band episode.
Yep.
I found some facts as well, just why it's banned, the history of when it aired, and also the reaction that it got after it got banned. I found out a couple facts. I was like, oh my goodness. So we'll get into it. So we'll get through this Great Snail Race first.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's just knock it out. All right, so episode starts off with Squidward getting a purebred snail that he spent $1,700 on.
Yeah.
What?
I wrote that down too. I said, that was a poodle.
Even if you adjust for inflation, that's over $2,000.
Dang.
I'm like, dang. And that was back in 2003 money. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Dang.
yeah, he gets a purebred snail to win a race, which I hope the prize money is more than the $1,700. But anyway,
I ain't see no money prize.
right? Recognition. We'll get into that in for funniest jokes and everything. But so SpongeBob then is Squidward taunts him, talks about how raggedy Gary is. So then SpongeBob's like, hey, I don't respect that. Essentially, I'm gonna enter Gary into this race. So he puts on the cliche jumper suit, mustache, a cap, says a crazy line about, let's go, ladies. See how I said that? I'm belittling you. I'm like, whoa.
I said, dang.
That didn't age well.
At all.
So.
But I think he was being, what did they call it? Tongue-in-cheek?
Yeah, for sure.
I think it was being tongue-in-cheek, though.
Oh yeah, 100%. Look, I'm not saying that. I'll say this: I don't think it was there for offense purposes, but it is crazy to just be like, "Wow, you're calling it out," and it's like, "Whoa." So, yeah, and Gary clearly does not want to train. He's trying to watch TV.
Yeah,
and then in the middle of this, Patrick enters a rock into the race, which will definitely... Rocky! Yeah, I know. Rocky. He has nerves of steel. Yo. And then it gets to a point where he's lacking off, and SpongeBob just kind of beats Gary to a pulp when it comes to training up into the race. He beats him up, essentially. Breaks down, and... As for who wins into the race, because that has to go in the funniest joke, we'll get into that. But Keels,
yo, what up?
What was your favorite joke?
All right, there were just a couple. When Squidward is showing, what was the snail's name?
Smelly.
Snelly. Yeah. Showing off Snelly to Patrick and SpongeBob. He was like, she's a purebred. And then Patrick is like, wow, a snail made out of bread.
Hilarious. Yo.
See, and back in the days, when I was a kid, those type of jokes is what made Patrick my favorite character.
100%.
Oh my God. What's it called? The lighting of the torch with Lightning, yep. Larry, Luciano.
Okay, right, yep.
And he's going all slow. They're like, Larry.
Lightning, Larry, Luciano.
And then they're like, all right. And then the freaking guy, the commentator, picks him up.
The race is on.
The torch is lit. The race is on.
That was my funniest joke.
The trombone player fell over.
This lasted 2 hours. They were hype. They were like, "Oh, he's going any minute now." 2 hours later, yo. And also, that's crazy because it's like this audience really was just like chilling there for like 2 hours. At least Gary got some rest. I don't know. Oh, and I also, since you had that, my backup, because I had two funniest jokes. My backup was Rocky. So,
yeah.
one, it's crazy that Patrick enters a rock for a snail race.
Uh-huh.
And I just found it hilarious just how he's treating this rock. Like, it's okay, you go when you need to. And somehow,
honestly,
he won!
But honestly, look how SpongeBob was coaching Gary, right?
Yeah, it's a good foil.
And then Patrick is showing the rock love. Don't even worry about it. And guess who won?
Rocky.
Guess who won?
And he was crying too with the flowers. Oh, he was going in. He said, "Oh,
yeah."
How did he win the race?
No idea.
I did have that in the what I would change.
It just appeared at the finish line.
What if there was a tiny snail at the bottom of that rock? And it was just like, oh, I gotta pick it up. Or it was some bug. And it was just like...
That would have been a great change to the episode.
I had that in my thing that I would change.
Oh, that's a good
just
one.
Just an explanation for how. What would you change?
Squidward actually wins.
Interesting. Okay.
Makes fun of SpongeBob like he would do for losing.
Right.
And then the episode ends as like a message or like, oh, this is what happens when, you push athletes too hard, you push your children too hard. You know what I mean? Like something like that. So it'll be like a corny message ending type thing, right. But I feel like it would have been appropriate because I feel like it didn't really end well.
Yeah, and
I like your ending a lot though.
Oh, the little bug being in the end.
Yeah, the little snail at the bottom.
Right.
Oh my god, that would have been hilarious.
It was Rocky. No, so, and I like that you said that, Keels, because, ultimately, it's on both of them, because everybody gives SpongeBob a lot of, like, smack, because it's like, wow, like, he's really going hard on Gary, and rightfully so. I'd say 80% of it was 100% SpongeBob. Let's not forget that when SpongeBob was trying to train him, Gary was like, I'm just watching TV, I'm not worried about this. It goes into the, hey, when you have to train for something, like, come on, like...
Can't be playing around.
Can't play around,
Also, that's also another favorite joke. When Gary is racing, and then he freaking... his eyes blew out.
Like tires.
Tires. He's trying to say...
When he was on the wall,
I said, oh, dang. His shell blew up.
And there was an engine. Thing was going.
He blew a head gasket.
Yo.
And I know about that all too well. Trust
me. Ooh.
Trust
Not
me.
The car PSD.
Man.
Like, yo.
Dang. The head gasket.
Yeah. And meme.
The crowd cheered after
They
that.
did. Okay, I was gonna... The people of Bikini Bottom.
That goes. When I saw that, I said, I'm glad we called that out.
Yup.
The people of Bikini Bottom.
They're savages.
Are pieces of They are pieces of
They are the equivalent. In the Roman Colosseums where it's just like they cheer for when people get eaten by lions. It originated in Bikini Bottom. The theory of evolution, it came from them.
This Gary was blew up in front of everybody, spinning out
on the field.
They said, "Yeah!"
cheering.
Yeah,
there's a person dying on the field. They're right? Oh man.
Oh.
And yeah, I don't know if there was a meme in this. I mean,
maybe Squidward Tortellini.
Maybe. I didn't catch any memes.
I ain't catching any either.
Yeah. I'm glad, Sandy made her little cameo appearance to kick SpongeBob. That's it.
Yeah,
for a side note thing. But any final thoughts?
Nah.
All All right.
Oh. Ooh. I would have liked just a little flashback of Luciano, just to see like.
Oh, what he was.
Yeah, just to see what he was. You know, it would have been like a sepia tone flashback.
Well, there was a poster. You know, the announcer. He had something in the background. I'm trying to think, but it was a snail also.
Yeah. It was a poster of a snail, and it said.
I'm trying to remember what it said for the life of me.
It said like Speed King or something like
that. Yeah,
like
keep going or something.
I wonder if it was him.
That was Luciano.
I wonder.
Yo, brand deals in Bikini Bottom for snails. Yeah. Any final thoughts?
Nah, no final thoughts.
All right, look, I'm going to keep it 100. I'm ready to dive deep in this.
Let's do it.
I took down a couple notes because... All right, so I'll say this. I'm going to say the synopsis, but I'm also going to, for our listeners, why this episode was banned. And I also have the history of how it became banned and why it was banned. Okay. So, Mr. Krabs is having a midlife crisis. Hence the title, Midlife Crustacean. Mm-hmm. So in the midst of that, he's getting egged on when it comes to just even walking down the street, which we'll get into, where it's just... We'll get into the breakdown of it, but like him, at work getting insulted by the customers... which may be a favorite joke. And then he sees SpongeBob and Patrick talking about how they're going to have a fun night tonight, so he wants to chime in and join. But he gets a little bit more than what he bargained for. They go to the Wash, which is a laundromat, not a club. They go to, and I have a theory about that too.
I got a list of the uncool stuff that they were doing. If you want to go through.
Oh no! It was the Wash. Then it was picking up garbage.
They were just riding the bike.
Riding the
bike with a wagon on the back.
Yup. Oh, and I have
Mr. Krabs is in the wagon.
SpongeBob says it's a chick magnet, and then Mr. Krabs is like more like chick repellent.
I was like, and so this fish with a hot rod pulls up. What is that? Hey, you guys going to the Doofus convention or whatever he said?
Oh, I have my compass.
He's like, oh no, I have my compass. We can't get lost. Oh my god, this guy's a nerd.
So then they do a montage of just like, okay, are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? What's up?
They was hanging in the library.
They were playing a version of Dungeons and Dragons.
They was chilling in the kiddie pool.
Yup.
Fixing a roof,
riding a little machine outside of a grocery store.
They went to the dentist.
And then going to the dentist.
They went to the dentist.
And finally, when they get to Bunny Buns.
I forgot about Bunny Buns.
Which is a knockoff Chuck E. Cheese place.
Right.
Mr. Krabs had it.
I wonder if that's like Bunny Buns and Weenie Hut General.
Oh, similar. The competitors.
Discovery Zone.
I was just about for your 90 kids out there. Discovery Zone.
If you remember Discovery Zone,
yo,
we in the same tribe, my boy.
Listen, I got some stories about Discovery Zone now.
Shoot, man,
the ball pit,
man.
Nah, but it was better than Chuck E. Cheese's. It's a shame.
Was.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a shame it fell off.
Yep.
That little rolly slide thing.
Ooh.
Oh my god, my fingers.
And maybe we're gonna and for like the detail oriented things, we're gonna go back because I'm sure that like with some of these jokes, we're gonna dive deep into it. So it gets to a point where Mr. Krabs has had it, and then the reason for why the episode was banned. Because at first, when you hear all that, you're like, okay, like whatever. It's a little risky with some or risque with some words, but. Some actions, but then Patrick drops the, I guess you're not ready for the panty raid. And they say it's specific. You're talking girls, right?
Girls,
like
girls.
And they don't hold back either. They climb up the house, they go into the drawer, and before you see the panties they end up getting caught with, there's a bunch of bikinis in there. Like, they show it. And this is why the episode was banned.
Banned!
So when you say banned, so here's the history for it. Nickelodeon took it out of broadcast rotation. So when shows go into syndication after they reach the 65 episodes, which SpongeBob more than exceeded.
This episode was on for years before they decided to ban it.
Correct. And in 2018, they decided to take it off of rotation entirely.
Oh, this was recently banned.
Yes.
Well, semi-recently.
Semi-recently, but, like, also Nickelodeon has a tendency of not airing... Like, you know, they want to push the newer episodes, so, like, you wouldn't see it naturally in rotation.
Yeah.
But in 2018, it became official, where they took it off of the rotating block in rebroadcasting, and for syndication purposes. And at first, nobody batted an eye. You know, it was still available if you bought the DVD box set. It was still available on iTunes. So, Paramount Plus comes along, which, as a streaming service... You know, they obviously hold the library of SpongeBob. And fans quickly noticed, in its debut in, you know, the 2020s, that this episode was not included. So then it gained traction, gained a form, and recently they, you know, when the service launched, that's when they came out and said, yes, this episode was banned given the topic. Apparently, even before, this was kind of added in the mix of examples of risky SpongeBob episodes for why parents don't want to show it to their kids. And you know what I have to say? And now we can get into the detail of it, because it's going to be a breakdown. I understand. I don't think it should have been banned.
Why not?
All right, so... We've established in this podcast that SpongeBob is a show, especially the first 3 to 4 seasons, is a show designed for all audiences. It is not just for kids. It can, you know, little kids gravitate towards it, kids gravitate towards it, teens gravitate towards it, and as adults, we now go back and gravitate towards it. There's a reason why certain memes and episodes still hold up.
Yeah. And
some episodes even talk to the generation. You know, where I think about, you know, that's the thing. They talk to an older audience without low-key, like, saying it directly to them. Midlife Crustacean talks about when you're going through a midlife crisis. Or when you're feeling old. And this is where the details come in. I think, you know, I understand the panty raid being the reason why it got banned. We need to still, Keels and I still need to go through... You know, up until we're current to see, was this the worst episode in the series? Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. There might be things that are worse. But I think that the topic at hand is funny. I think that Mr. Krabs, you know, as a character makes sense to go through that arc. Yeah. It's not just the cliche Squidward being depressed, which they've done. And that's the thing, like, they've made side jokes on SpongeBob. That's Which true. One is more triggering? That's true. Multiple side jokes. That's true. So, and this episode also, from a critical standpoint, ranks as number 79 as the greatest SpongeBob episodes of all time. That I did also find out. So, I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, it went past the first... It's in the first 100. I think that there are funny moments. One... The song is legendary. The You're Old. You're old. Crusted like a geezer. Yeah, Jimmy.
He had like 7 chins.
You got multiple chins because you're old.
You're old.
I think...
Grumbling like a geezer.
It's crazy that when Mr. Krabs eats breakfast, it's all brand.
All brand. Yeah, I wrote that down too.
And that's my thing. To a kid, who's going to know that? But obviously as an adult...
What is brand?
You never had bran flakes?
I mean, yeah, I've had it, but like, what is it?
It's some kind of grain that is... I know it's a grain, but...
Oh.
It's a grain that essentially...
A nice fortifying grain.
It works the body, I'll say that. Do not eat brand with prune juice and a probiotic pill.
Man.
And you saw that pill. Like, yo, here comes the pill.
Bro, that pill was like a life raft, yo.
Yup.
Dang.
And again, the brand. Oh, come on, the conversation. Look, obviously for this podcast, we talked to multiple generations, but I think that scene put it pretty clear. When Pearl is like, kids don't say cool anymore, they say coral.
Coral. Coral.
Keels, riddle me this. How many times has there been a slang word that you're just like, what does that mean?
Nowadays, it's like...
I'm going to date
you
myself.
Lost me.
Yeah.
Like, now you lost me. Until about 2015, I was with everything. Now, 2020 starts coming. I'm like, ugh.
6, 7.
Come on. And the kids just eat it up. I don't understand it.
I think,
But they can't explain it, though, so I'm not all the way out the loop. They can't explain it.
So because of that, we have an argument.
Yeah.
I think about it used to be that's on point. Now, that's on period.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll never forget when I found out what the word tea meant. I was like, oh, what's the tea? And I'm like, ooh, I like
just
that.
Like saying, yo, what's the juice? Or,
right.
What's the gossip? Same thing.
But I'm like, I like that. Just to date myself, sorry.
I love how slang just...
evolves.
Yeah, it just evolves itself, comes back around. Mm-hmm. I love it.
In new forms.
It just, and in old forms. It comes back in old forms. You know what I mean?
I think...
And it's just funny because, like, every generation thinks they made up the word.
Right. But, it's like, I'm sure people in the 70s, oh, that's groovy. 80s, that's heavy.
True.
I guess 90s is that's radical or
I wonder if people were really saying like radical and tubular and all that
tubular
stuff. I wonder if people were really saying
I'm trying to I need to get my inner clueless in. Let me see. I know as if was a popular saying, but I don't think it was anything that transcended where it's like a universal like oh man, for 90s there's a lot. Hey, testament to the 90s.
Yeah, there's a lot of slang.
And then I don't know if 2000s really had its mark, but I know it's lit. Yeah. That's the, fairly, I'd say 2010s. But the point is, who does that speak to?
I was about to say, what is the point?
So my point, I know, going into that. So I say that because, which audience does that speak to? The older audience.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to defend it not getting banned. It's just...
Yeah. Also... That was just a cliche. That was a cliche on TV back in the days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's also another thing.
It's not the first show to... Ren and Stimpy. Nickelodeon show.
See, but...
Way worse.
Ren and Stimpy also got banned.
There were some episodes that did get banned, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that...
To the point where, the show got banned.
The show did,
show got banned.
That's a whole history lesson right there. But to that point, I feel like Nickelodeon... they're not too far off. Rocko's Modern Life, another one that had low-key risky jokes, and it's just
Yeah, it's just you can just get away with stuff back then.
Yeah.
That just speaks to
the
time.
I think that, those two shows had a bit more than this, and when they do rebroadcasts, or when they did Nick Rewind, guess what? They ran a couple of those episodes in rotation. It's I think that the joke of the blinker, come on, move it, and could you be any slower? And he had your blinker on for the last 4 lights.
Yeah.
Cliche, old people driving. Come on.
Yeah, they were hammering it up with the
jokes. Oh, the Boy Scout. Come on, Pops.
That was funny. They walked him across the street. He said, "I don't need no help." His claw came off.
Yo!
He said, "I'm sorry you had to see that."
All right.
Oh my God.
Now, by tradition, because we're leading into, I'm not going to spoil it. So, Keels, what was your favorite joke in that?
Let's see. Are you ready to party? Because I'm ready to party. Are you ready to party?
Are you ready to party? Yo, that's okay.
What is it? Debauchery.
Oh man,
debauchery.
And
then they go to the laundromat.
See, I have a theory about that too.
What?
So the line, and then I'll backtrack a little bit. So I have a theory when they're in the wash and because I wrote this down, and SpongeBob's like, "Oh yeah," and Patrick, the colors. I'm like, listen. maybe they were with it the whole time. Maybe they were dropping a drug or something, and
Who knows?
And they were just like looking at the things, and I'm like, you know what?
What if they were high the whole time?
They were high. Yeah, like it's just like, well.
Oh my God! That's
maybe they did know what was up.
Right.
No, the funniest joke though. Mr. Krabs is sitting eating his lunch. And he's like, oh, like, Mom. And then he sees you grab it to the customers, the mom and child. Mom, there's something wrong with my Krabby Patty. Oh, it's so old and dirty. Like that man right there.
That was
I was like, yo.
In his own restaurant.
Like that man. Yeah,
like, I am the owner and manager here.
He's on break.
Like,
this man is over here trying to take his lunch break. He's like, you know what? Let me get out my office setting. I never sit down with the customers.
With the people. Let me rub elbows with day the people. One. Right, like, what?
Yo, when
unwarranted, too.
Yup.
Not only did you disrespect my product, you disrespected me, too.
And the way the kid just goes, la, la, la.
I know, he's throwing it away. Oh, my God.
Hilarious.
Did him dirty.
And look at the people at Bikini Bottom.
Jerks.
Look at them.
Jerks.
All right.
Man.
So.
And you already know.
For meme?
Well, I guess you'll miss the panty raid.
You think that's meme-worthy?
Meme-worthy.
Ooh.
Favorite joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have that as meme worthy.
That's interesting. Wait, what else do I have?
Come on, let's see if you say it. Please.
We have to talk about it.
What do you want me to get the meme worthy or
the meme worthy?
I think
it's heavy hitters.
I think it's are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs?
Ooh.
Is that what you were gonna say? No? All right.
I think it's panty raid.
As the meme?
Yeah, because it got banned. It was so lawless. It got banned.
Interesting. Okay, all right, I respect it.
And it's a hilarious joke. It was his mother.
Oh my. Okay. Now I have that in the thing I would change.
Okay.
So.
What would you change?
All right. So
it was an actual woman.
No,
just a random woman.
My thing is, Mr. Krabs doesn't know that's his mom's house.
That's true.
It looks like there's two homes that look like an anchor in Bikini Bottom. You don't know that that's the house?
Yeah, that is true.
I'm like, I'm still judging this on as if it was an episode, which goes back to defending the meme worthy.
Okay.
I think a lot of people who are not really deep into SpongeBob don't know this episode is actually banned. But if I said, "Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?"
Oh, yeah.
That they're like, "Oh, I remember that episode." There's some that don't, and I'm like, "Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?"
From that episode.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Art thou feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Dang,
and
that is from that episode. That's a legendary episode.
Look, I'm not saying it's but it's a powerful meme. Like
that saying is traveled.
What would you change, Keels?
Let's see. Would I change anything? Okay. So Mr. Krabs knows very well that SpongeBob and Patrick are corny. You know, they're childish, they're corny. I'm kind of interested to see how willing Mr. Krabs was to be like, yeah, those guys are cool. Yeah, they're cool. You know what I mean? So the question is, two other characters in the SpongeBob universe, who would you have Mr. Krabs go with and have a real good time?
Two?
Yeah.
Do you have two as well?
I have one. I'm trying to think of the other.
All right. Sandy and I have to think about who was introduced at the time. Sandy and Larry. I think that
Larry is one of mine.
Okay.
I got one floating in my head.
I say Larry because he usually gets the girls, the bod, things like that.
Exactly.
But I say Sandy because she comes from literally the land. So it's like she's seen what party life is like. Yeah. She's also the smartest in Bikini Bottom. So it's like, I'm sure she'd be like, yeah, let's hang loose. And with Larry there, look.
Yeah, I feel like Larry is going to get him the women and stuff like that. And he'll be chilling on the beach.
Mr. Krabs over here like,
hey! Like, now that would have been a funny episode.
Oh, it's not too late. But you have to have us as writers.
Exactly. Yo. And then for some reason, I don't know why, I have no reason why this popped up in my head. Bubble Buddy popped up in my head.
Whoa.
I don't know why.
For the second character?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I have no idea why.
You don't have an explanation?
I just feel like it'll just be funny jokes. Like, he'll take it to, like, a bubble bar. Like, girls are, like, they're supposed to be dancing, but they're standing still, but they're bubbles. So I feel like it'll be a funny joke.
I'm already thinking of some risque jokes you can put in there. If they go to a bubble club, we'll just leave it there.
Bubble money. More bubble money.
Mr. Krabs would be pissed. He'd be like, yeah, just bubble money.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I would say those two. Larry and Bubble Buddy.
Okay. All right.
Possibly Squilliam.
Ooh, Squilliam could probably show him out.
Some rich stuff going on.
Wait a minute. Squilliam and Larry together.
Ooh, now you talking.
And listen,
a
joke could be they play a prank on Squidward. Mr. Krabs isn't the biggest fan of Squidward. Squilliam's like, let's him up. Like, yo.
Wow, he would never get over that.
Yo, Squidward comes in the next day.
At once, that's messed up.
Comes in with a loser tattooed on his forehead or on marker. Come on.
That sounds like some mean rich stuff that would happen.
I'm just saying.
But yeah. So that would be the only thing I would change.
Okay.
Like, they're not cool.
Yeah, hold on, we're not lame. The whole like kind of way.
Lame.
Oh man. And
bro, they said we're petty professionals.
That's what I was just about to say. So let's not forget. So SpongeBob and Patrick do this on a regular to the point that they're like, we score at this house every time.
Bro, we score every time?
So, like, does Mr.
Wild. Wild.
So the sequel to this episode, does, like, Mr. Krabs ever go to his mom and is just like, so, like, how many underwear are you missing? Because as many underwear as how many dollars I'm going to take from SpongeBob's check.
Man.
That would be, ooh.
Yo, that's crazy.
Hey, look.
We score here all the time.
Yo, Patrick's, yo, you would think, you know what, I feel like maybe in a separate universe without SpongeBob, maybe Patrick would be what's up. Yeah. He's still stupid.
Yeah.
But, like, think about it. He hung out with Flats. They went to community college together.
Flats.
Yo, you remember? Community college, buddy, Flats.
Yeah, I know they was going crazy in college, boy.
Patrick over here down in a keg.
That might be why he's so dumb. Drank it all the way.
Dang. Any final thoughts?
Nah, no final thoughts, man. The band episode.
We did it. Man. Yeah, and I was able to watch this copy, the DVD. I also wanted to throw a little plug. This is why physical media matters.
Yes.
Just saying.
Physical media matters, man.
There's not a lot of numerous examples.
We need to go back analog.
You know what I saw today? There was an article. Gen Z is actually going back to DVDs and video. Isn't that amazing?
They put it on Gen Z. Shouts out to Gen Z, but
yeah, I respect
we've been doing that. We never stopped.
I'll say this.
We still got our Nintendo 64 and Game Boy and all that stuff.
Well, even outside of that, I think for the movie front, like, there's a lot of examples where, you know what, I'll take a playful one, also animated. Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Have you seen the scene how they changed it on Disney Plus?
Yeah. Yes.
The dryer.
Yeah.
Look, alterations. Like, when you have a thing of physical media, if you want to see it in its original theatrical, there you go.
Crazy. They just change it like it ain't nothing.
Right.
Like,
I mean, as a Star Wars fan, I relate.
bro,
but what I'll also say is, like, even when it comes to certain shows, like, there's shows that stream right now where if they're taken off, that's it. So the content is just gone forever. You know?
Wow.
As opposed to... Wow. Let's say, what's a show that ran on syndication that no longer... There's a lot. Like, if there's a like, you know, if it doesn't play in syndication, you have it. There's a lot of movies. I've seen, like, old 80s, 90s...
There's a lot of movies lost.
Yeah.
Dang.
All because of physical media, and they never made the... Some didn't make the transition.
Yeah.
Some are new, and they and it's gone.
Man, that's crazy.
So...
And only like 3 people remember it.
No, I know. Like, listen. You know what? Oh, this is about to be a length. I'll try not to make it too lengthy.
Okay.
All right. This is a deep... If anybody puts in the comments too, do you remember Moonbeam Entertainment?
No.
It was a segment of Paramount, right? And they had, like, older movies, but they were, like, kid-friendly movies. You know what? But you know this movie. You know Goobers?
Goobers?
You don't remember that?
No.
Dragon World, Prehysteria? No?
I remember Prehysteria.
It's from that line of movies. And guess what? I think it had a Blu-ray release, but as far as you know, yeah, you can't... Gone. But some of the movies in their library have never made that transition from video. They're just gone. So if, you know...
No, I don't know Goobers.
Yeah. I think it's a horror movie or... Yeah.
I remember Prehysteria, though.
Prehysteria, Pet Shop.
Pet Shop sounds familiar.
But yeah, the point... Alright, look. The point I'm trying to make. It's an old video. I still have a VHS player. I'm like, yo. But yeah, physical media. And this is the only... Alright, that went on a whole tangent.
I remember Boys Will Be Boys.
Oh, what's that one? It's
like... knockoff Dennis the Menace.
Get out of here, yo.
Yeah.
Boys Will Be Boys. Yeah. This director, you know, there was some mom shop and it's like, I need to shut the kids up. Here you go.
Pet Shop is crazy.
You remember it or no?
That you mentioned that. You're out of your mind for even remembering that.
Facts.
Wow.
Look.
Wow.
It was an old 90s staple. I remember it. Listen.
Wow. Crazy. The mind is crazy.
But yeah, no, and I think Pet Shop was one of their big ones, so that made the transition. But there are some movies in their library that stayed on. They made it maybe to DVD. Some of them VHS. Like that's it. Like so, yeah. I'm happy that Gen Z is doing that.
So am I.
That's what's up.
So am I.
Yo,
man, that's crazy.
What?
What if like one day the internet just
went out? Oh. Not dark.
Not goes out, but just like, you know, it just slowly goes back to
like
how it was like back in the 70s, 60s. Technology wise, sorry. Okay. Technology wise.
I mean,
hopefully,
hopefully,
as time goes forward, we see more unity.
Right. But I mean, if it did, you know, well, there'd be a return. Cable's like the biggest example. I feel like the internet, that was the point of like, you can't
return.
You can't return. Like, I mean, we're so intertwined with what's going on in our phones. Like,
crazy. We lived through that.
There's you know what? There's a really good movie that's out right now. It's called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. It is right now. One of my favorite films of the year so far. And the message of it is how AI just completely gets rid of like civilization and we have to have more human elements.
Yeah.
That is a part of it. You know, if you take away the phone, it's like, sometimes it's good to just be immersed in conversations.
Yeah.
I occasionally, like, I don't know, like, I'll paint. And, you know, I'll have something, maybe music on in the background or something like that. Like, you know, like, you don't have to be glued all the time.
True.
But yeah, if it did go out, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I totally agree. I think that, yeah, you just got to find things to do, like, where you're not on your phone, where you're not, you know, just laying down for hours, doing nothing for hours, just, you know.
I'm also dissecting this. We went from physical media to talking about...
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Yo.
Let's wrap this up. Anyway, buy more physical media was the whole thing about this.
Yes. I agree. All right. I would dare say any final thoughts, and then it's just like, no.
No.
But you know what? We did it, Keels.
We did it.
The band episode. My goodness.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. I'm happy we did it. All right. I need to look to see. Oh, no. I do know what's next. Damn. We have a stinker next. I mean, we'll see.
It's all right. Maybe we'll jazz it up with some good convo. Anyway, this is Keels.
I'm down. Yeah, this is Jared. Another episode of Bikini Bottom Banter in the bag.
Thanks for tuning in to another fantastic episode of Bikini Bottom Banter. Don't forget to follow Bikini Bottom Banter on TikTok and Instagram for even more content. Subscribe to them on YouTube and Anchor, plus turn on bell notifications to be updated on their latest episode. And if you've got your own jellyfishing stories or favorite SpongeBob moments, remember to share them with us. You might just hear them on our next episode. So until then, stay bubbly, keep smiling, and remember, subscribe to Bikini Bottom Banter to know all the under the sea.